Hello, welcome students. In this lesson we will learn about A. Embedded statements. For example, I know that he lives here. B. Embedded WH clauses. For example, I know who lives here. Now, notice the use of that plus statement in place of a noun phrase. I know something. Something is noun phrase. John is from Chicago. John is from represent a statement. If we join both sentence with that, it becomes, I know that John is from Chicago. A noun phrase, something, someone, the new student, John, etc., can follow I know. In addition, an embedded statement, John is from Chicago, can function as a noun phrase. The word, that, may be included or omitted in this pattern. Additional examples. I believe that John is from Chicago. I think it rained yesterday. I imagine that John is going to be late. Exercise 1. Practice the use of I think, that. The word, that, is optional. Which do you think is bigger, New York, or Chicago? I think that New York is bigger. Which do you think is older, London, or New York? I think that London is older. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video while doing your exercise. Exercise 2. Listen to the statement, and to the words that follow it. Combine them, to form a new sentence. New York is the largest city in the United States. I know. I know that New York is the largest city in the United States. Much of New York is surrounded by water. I understand. I understand that much of New York is surrounded by water. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video while doing your exercise. It is important to note that clauses cannot be used after the verb want. The verb after want must be in the infinitive form with to. For example, I want John to go. I want to study. Verb want is discussed in Lesson 13. The verbs of Exercise 2, that is, verbs like know, plus some additional verbs of the same type, are listed below. Agree, doubt, hope, regret, answer, dream, imagine, remember, assume, feel, know, say, believe, forget, learn, suppose, conclude, guess, notice, think, decide, hear, realize, understand, discover, A similar pattern includes verbs like tell. I told him that Louise came early. In this sentence, an object, him, follows the verb. In fact, the verb must be followed by a personal object. Notice that there is no personal object following verbs like know. I know that Louise came early. I said that Louise came early. Some additional verbs like tell are the following: assure, notify, convince, remind, inform. In a third pattern, an optional personal object follows the verb. He wrote me that John is in Paris. Some additional verbs like write are the following: promise, teach, show, warn. In a fourth pattern, an optional to plus object follows the verb. He explained to us that a quick answer was important. Some additional verbs like explain are the following: admit, prove, report, announce, read, say, mention, repeat, suggest, point out, reply, write. Notice how a WH clause is used after verbs like know. I know John sees Mary. I know who sees Mary. I know Mary sees Mr. Miller. I know who Mary sees. In pattern S, the WH word replaces the subject. Who replaces John. For example, I know John sees Mary. I know who sees Mary. In pattern O, the WH word replaces the object, or some other part of the verb phrase. Who replaces Mr. Miller. For example, I know Mary sees Mr. Miller. I know who Mary sees. Exercise 3. The word order of WH clauses in questions is the same as in the corresponding statements. In this exercise, change the statements to questions. Remember, the word order of the WH clause does not change. First, pattern S. For examples: John knows who was here. Does John know who was here? Mary knows who answered the telephone. Does Mary know who answered the telephone? Second, pattern O. For examples: John remembers who he talked to. Does John remember who he talked to? John asked where Mary was from. Did John ask where Mary was from? Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video while doing your exercise. Exercise 4. Answer the questions with no, I don't know, etc. plus a WH clause. Then ask another student the same question. He should give an original answer.
Do you know who he is?
No, I don't know who he is. Do you know who he is?
Yes, he is Mr. Smith.
Do you know where he comes from?
No, I don't know where he comes from. Do you know where he comes from?
Yes, he comes from Mexico. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video while doing your exercise. Exercise 5. Practice pattern No. Listen to the question and the partial response. You should complete the response, as shown in my following examples. Who is that man? I don't know. I don't know who that man is. What is the date of the party? I don't know. I don't know what the date of the party is. Where were they? They didn't say. They didn't say where they were. Whose book did he find? Do you remember? Do you remember whose book he found? Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video while doing your exercise. Exercise 6. Answer the questions with I don't know, plus WH clause. For examples. Is he from Chicago, or New York? I don't know where he is from. Is he 24, or 25 years old? I don't know how old he is. Did John come, or did Paul come? I don't know who came. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video while doing your exercise. The embedded statements and WH clauses in this lesson can also be used in subject position. For examples, I heard that John was happy. That John was happy made me happy. I know how he traveled. How he traveled was easy to discover. I know why he left early. Why he left early is a difficult question. Exercise 7. Listen to the statement and the words that follow it. Combine them to form a new sentence. For example, is he home? I wonder. I wonder if he is home. Did he go? I'll ask. I'll ask if he went. Now, please do the following exercise. You can pause your video while doing your exercise. Well done, students. You have finished chapter or lesson 16. I hope you enjoy it, and keep practicing. See you again, bye.